Welcome back, everybody. This tutorial is all about the Me02 Personal Highlight Reel, which is basically creating a 1 to 2 minute video that includes all of your favorite 3D models and the segments of Minecraft coding that you have done throughout the year. The grading rubric is right here. We're going to want to have a Premiere project made. We're going to load some video clips into that Premiere project. We're going to trim some of those clips up. We're going to add some music over the top. You can choose which music you would like. Please don't have any inappropriate lyrics on your music, however. And then we're going to add some titles to it at the beginning and at the end of our video. After we do that, we're going to export our video, and then you can submit that video to this assignment. Let's get into it. We're going to open up Premiere Pro. Open up Premiere Pro. You can simply click on your Windows taskbar, and you can scroll down and find Adobe Premiere Pro, or you can type in PRE, and you will see Adobe Premiere Pro start right here at the top of the list. And give it a little bit of time to load up. Here we go. We've got Premiere Pro loaded. You're going to see this kind of a menu. We're going to start by just creating a new project. So click on New Project. And right up here where it says Name, we're going to change the name of this from Untitled to your name, and then Highlight Reel. There we go. As far as the location, you can click on Browse, and you can change where you would like this to be saved. I'm going to just save it right to my Videos folder here. So I click on Videos, and then click on Select Folder. All right, that should be all I need to do. I'm going to press OK. And now you're going to see Premiere Pro open up its main window. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to get all of our tracks or all of our videos together. We're going to do that by clicking on Assembly up here on the top left. And now we can see that this is the Assembly window. Over on the left here, we have our Highlight Reel project files. Right now there's nothing in it, so in order to put some files in here, we're going to double click where it says Import Media to start. You're going to open up a window here. This is where you're going to want to find your videos that you're going to put into your project. If you go into Videos and then Captures, you should see all of the video files that you have created throughout the year. You should also find a music track that you want to put over the top of it. So I have my music track right here. And I also have a few different projects that I want to load up into this. I have some 3D modeling projects. I'm just going to hold down Control and click on each one of them. You might be able to just select all of the videos in your folder because you probably have nothing but a bunch of cool projects that you've worked on. I'm also going to throw some Minecraft education projects in there so you can see those. There we go. All right, that works for me. Now I'm going to press Open. You're going to see that it loads all of those different projects over into the left-hand side over here. I'm using OneDrive, so it actually has to download some of these videos, but that's okay. It's getting through and doing its thing. This process can be done a number of ways. You can load it up just like I did here by holding down Control and selecting all the different things you want, or you can just drag and drop video files as well. If you just had a folder open and you wanted to drag and drop into the area over here on the left of Premiere, that will often work as well. All right, now that it's loaded up, I have all my files here on the left-hand side, and I can drag and drop these files into my timeline here. You'll see that they're all selected already. That's cool. I can just drag and drop them in the sequence that I want over here on the right. So that's pretty easy. I can actually just click and drag all of them if I want at once and drag them onto this area, and you'll see that it creates a clip here that has everything that I need to see. If I want to zoom in on this, I can do that with these little sliders down here. But I have everything assembled. I'm going to click, instead of an assembly here, I'm going to click on the editing tab. And now I'm going to see a slightly different layout here. You're going to see a screen over here in the top left for effect controls. You're going to see a screen up here on the right which shows me a preview of what's going on in my timeline. And I still have my clips down here on the bottom left. Now let's talk about this section right here, the timeline. The first thing to note is that there's a scroll bar down here on the bottom. Right now I'm fully zoomed out, so I can't really see what's going on in all these little small clips down here. However, if you click on, there's these little circles on the sides over here. If you click on that circle and drag to the left, you'll see that the clips will get bigger. This is because I'm zooming in time here. If I press play right here, or I press the space bar, it's going to play the video that you show here. So I can see my track is beginning to play. All right. So each one of my tracks, after this one is done, you'll see that this is a video file. This little block right here is a video file. And once it gets to where this blue line passes the edge of this spot right here, you'll see that it will go to the next video. Now, the important part about this is that we want to have some music that plays over the top, and we also want to cut these clips to show just the parts that we want. Now, the easy thing to do when it comes to editing these clips is you can use your mouse here to grab onto this blue, it's like a flag up on the top of this line right here. And if I drag it right, I can choose what point in the video. The other thing that I can do is cut these clips. There's different ways to cut them. For example, you could use the razor blade tool to cut in a specific spot. Like let's say I wanted to go to the beginning of this clip, but I just want to show the robot doing its thing. You can be very precise with the timeline by using the arrow keys on your keyboard. So I'm just pressing the left arrow right here, and you'll see that it goes frame by frame, it moves backwards. If I use the right arrow key, then it will move forward in time. So it's a good way to be precise about where this playhead is using the left and right arrow keys. All right, so I want to have it just where the robot begins breaking this block, me typing this code and then breaking the blocks. So I have my playhead right where I want it to start. We're going to talk about how you can trim clips. So you can trim clips a number of ways. You can use the razor tool here, and I can click on that spot, and we'll see that it actually cut. If I zoom in, you can see that it actually cut that clip if I move it over. However, what this means is I now have to click, I have to change my tool to the arrow, the selection tool, and then click on the area that I want to have gone. And then I have to press delete. And then if I want to move this clip over, I have to select this area and press delete on there as well. And then it will move it to the left. Now, this is a lot of steps, and I don't want to waste that much time. So let me show you another way you can do this. You can use the Q and W keys to cut before or after an area, or before or after this blue line right here. So if I wanted to cut everything before this line right here, I would press Q. And if I wanted to cut everything after the line right here of this clip, I could press W. And if you look at the placement of the keyboard, or the letters on your keyboard, you'll notice Q is on the left-hand side of W, and W is on the right-hand side of Q. So really, Q cuts everything to the left, and W cuts everything to the right. If I go forward in time here, let's let's say I want to cut my clip right here. There's some extra time where he just kind of stands there. I can move my playhead to where I want my clip to finish. I want everything after this blue line up to the next clip cut out. I can press W, and when I do that, it will cut. And not only will it cut all that stuff out, it's going to move everything over, which helps me. I don't have to do any of that deleting and deleting empty space and moving stuff around. I can just move my playhead where I want it to go. Stay right here. And then I press Q to cut everything before that clip. And then I move forward until I want to end this video. Let's say right here. Then I press W and it'll cut everything after that to up to the next clip. I'm going to do the same thing here. Show how to make a cue. I'm going to move forward. And I'll cut everything after this point here. Something helpful to know, this bar down here is not only a zoom bar, but it's also a way for you to move left and right in your timeline. So this can help you to move and edit things. Alright, so I'm just going to go through and cut a few more of these clips, finish them where I want them to be finished by pressing W to cut after the blue line, and Q to cut before the line. There we go, perfect. Alright, so let's say I've trimmed everything up and I've got it just the way I want. Now it's time to add some music. Now I already picked a music clip right here that I'm going to use. It's kind of mashed in with the rest of my music or the rest of my clips here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out the video, because if you look at this part of the song that I chose, the video doesn't really have anything to do with what's going on, but I can't seem to select just the audio part. The way that Premiere works, we have all of our video tracks up here on the top. You see V1, V2, and V3 over here in your timeline. Oops, sorry about that. Move this magnifier out of the way. There we go. All right, so if I look at this one section just right here, you can see that in the timeline I have V1, V2, and V3. These are my video tracks. And then I have A1, A2, and A3. These are my audio tracks. So these are the sounds that are played down here in the A tracks. And then in the V tracks up here, these are my video clips. But you notice that if I click on one, it selects both of them. The way that you can select just one of the two is holding down Alt on the keyboard before you click on it. So if I hold down Alt and click on this, the video to that audio track, you'll notice it selects just the video. Now I can press delete and it will take just the video out. Then I can click and drag this audio clip down. I'm going to make it to where I'm going to mute all of these audio tracks. Everything on A1 is going to be muted, so I'm just going to click on the M right here, and it's going to mute all of the tracks that are on that audio file. I could also select all of them and delete them, I guess, but muting them might be easier to bring back too. I'm dragging this video or the music that I want down to the bottom track so it's not muted. Then I'm just going to drag this so it starts at the beginning of my my file here. All right, now when I press play, I can hear the music and I can see the video that I want played with the music. Looks like there's a little delay there. So just like with my other tracks, I can go over here and I can use the razor blade tool if I want to cut just that one section, and then delete that and move it back. Or I could press Q or W to do that as well. So let's try it one more time. So perfect. I like it. I've got audio. I've got music to go over the top of this. Now it's time for me to add some titles. Titles are pretty easy to add. All you'll have to do is click on graphics up here in this top section. And then over here on the right, you're going to see some different ideas of things that you could put. I'm just going to grab a basic title here. I'm going to click it and drag it onto my timeline. And when I do that, you're going to see maybe this thing that says unable to connect the type kit. That's okay. Just press OK a few times. The reason why is we have this funny type, this font. It's like almost a Wingdings font. To change it, you click on, I'm going to click on the title here. You'll notice that I put it on top of my other video track because I want it to show up on top of my video. So I just put it to where it's almost like a Photoshop layer. It's going to sit on top of my video here. And if I want to change what it says, I just have to click on it to select it. And over here on the top right, I'm selecting Edit. And then you're going to see something that says your title here. All you have to do is change what text you're going to use. Down here under where it says text, you want to change what font you're going to use. So I'm going to change it to a different font. And then you can change what it says by clicking on the T over here in your tools and then clicking inside of that box right there. You're able to then change what it says. So I'm going to just type in McDowell's highlight reel. There we go. And if I want to change its size or something like that, there's different settings over here on the right side, especially in the align and transform. I can move it. I can move it up and down. I can center it by clicking on these two buttons here to center it. I can also change how big I want it to be by clicking on that and dragging it. So you have scale, motion options. Here's your opacity, so I can make it kind of see-through if I want. Pretty cool. You're going to want a title at the very beginning and also a title at the very end. So I'm going to go and I'm going to create a new title. I'm going to go click back on Browse up here. I'm going to drag another basic title at the very end of my project here. And just the same as before, I'm going to zoom in on just that one area. There's my title right here. For that title, I'm going to type in, I'm going to go back into Edit, click on the title here. I'm going to change its font to something that I like. So work, I use the same font. And then I'll change what it says. I'm going to make it say, thanks for watching. You're going to want two titles. There we go. So now it's going to look like this. All right. So now if I look at my project, I can see that it starts off with a title up here at the beginning. I have a title at the end. I have all my video clips in a line. I've got my audio clips from the game itself muted. And I put one extra track up on one audio track that's unmuted down here so you can hear the music that plays while this is happening. Cool. All right, the last thing we need to do is we need to export our video. So you're just going to click on a clip down here in the timeline, go up to File, then Export and Media. When you do this, you're going to see a window pop up that's going to ask you some questions about settings. The only thing that you need to change, you need to change two things. You need to make sure down on the three things. Down here where it says source range, you want to change it to entire sequence. Up here where it says format, you want to make sure that you have the H.264 codec selected. And then where it says output name, you want to click on this blue link and change what you want it to be called and where you're saving it. So I would suggest you save it to your videos folder, and I'm going to call it McDowell Highlights. Then I press save. The last step is for you to click on export down here on the bottom right, and then it makes your video. It's going to take a little while to make it, so just sit back and relax. After it's done with this, you should be able to submit your video. So now we've talked all about how to create a Premiere project, how to load video clips, how to trim those clips, how to add music, how to add titles, and how to export your video so that way it can be submitted. I hope this was fun. I hope that your highlight reel is something that you're proud of. Enjoy, and I look forward to seeing your great work.